Hi, I'm Grace Grogan. Paul Cannon and I live and travel full-time in a motorhome. One of our favorite sightseeing activities is driving off-road trails seeking unique photo spots. Today we are rolling through Superstition Mountain, which is trail number 92 in the Fun Treks California Backroads and Four-Wheel Drive Trails book. This trail has a moderate rating, which can change over time due to the constant changes to the land by drifting sand. The trail is about 19 miles long, and it took us 3.5 hours to complete the drive. Travel with us and enjoy this unusual trail. Notice the tracks on the side hills made by ATVers having fun. The Superstition Mountains off-highway vehicle area is a large and popular off-road area consisting of 13,000 acres of varying landscape, including desert floor, sand dunes, and rocky hills in the Anza Borrego Desert area. The trail area is located near Plaster City, California, and is about 20 miles from Centro, California. There are no bathrooms, drinking water, or restaurants nearby, so plan your trip accordingly. Around the end of the mountain and now need to follow on the left side of the power line, which serves as a boundary marker between the BLM land we are on and the military land to the right. Notice in the distance the large wall of sand on the horizon. Our trail book indicates 2 walls of sand we will need to drive around. A sign where we needed to turn out into the desert stated that we were going out onto a live bombing area and to keep out. The sand dune was about 1/2 mile long, and it felt like it took forever as we drove its length. I was happy when we finally reached the tip of the dune and could head back to safety, but not until we had also driven past a smaller dune forming close by. The Naval Air Facility El Centro uses realistic training for active and reserve aviation units. Squadrons practice gunnery, bombing, carrier landings, and air combat. A remote-controlled target area allows the naval aviators to practice ordnance delivery. The desert range is used for air-to-ground bombing, rocket firing, dummy drops, mobile land target training, and strafing. Strafing is a term used for attacking repeatedly with bombs or machine gun fire from a low-flying aircraft. The training the pilots receive at El Centro is as close as it gets to actual air combat. A large portion of the movie Top Gun was shot at the Naval Air Facility El Centro. when we crossed the power line, which meant we were out of the bombing range and back on our trail. The third large dune we came to had tracks going over. We were glad we did not have to venture back out onto the bombing range. Sand dunes can be dangerous to drive, and it is recommended vehicles avoid the drift side of the dunes where rollovers are possible. We did not make it over on our first run. Many vehicles air down their tires when driving on sand for better traction, but we did not find it necessary to do that on this trail. We backed down and attempted the climb from a slightly different angle and made it right up the hill. We are driving on the desert floor. The areas where we drop down into a lower spot and then climb back up are washes. Desert washes are dry riverbeds that flow only after a period of heavy rain. They are also called exoraparian habitats. This means they are linear, chronically disturbed habitats that concentrate water and nutrients from a large area and serve as dispersal corridors for plants and animals. The washes have surface water for only brief periods of time, often just for a few hours a year. There are a lot of washes in the stretch along the power line, making you wonder how much water flows through the area when it rains. hillier terrain with more plant life. The view to our left provided a scenic look at the mountain and land. Notice the cirrus cloud arching across the sky. Cirrus is a cloud characterized by thin, wispy strands. Its name is derived from the Latin word cirrus, meaning a ringlet or curling lock of hair. The cloud can form at any altitude between 16,500 to 45,000 feet above sea level. We took a break to watch the Blue Angels performing overhead. The Naval Air Facility El Centro is home to the Blue Angels, and they, along with many other naval jets, practice above the Superstition Mountain off-highway vehicle area. The Blue Angels began using El Centro as their winter training base in 1967. Every January, the Blue Angels conduct more than 2 months of intense flight operation practice prior to the start of their air show season. We reached an area that was a bit more interesting, with the mountain and trails from ATVs who are better able to travel up into the mountain. Superstition Mountain sits on fault number 125G, San Jacinto Fault, Superstition Mountain section in the Quaternary Fault and Fold database of the United States U.S. Geographical Survey website. An earthquake occurred the day we were there, but we did not feel it while driving the trail and only learned about it later. Information I found stated that in 1987 an earthquake created a new fault near Superstition Mountain in the middle of the U.S. Navy bombing range. We reached a spot where we could not see the trail in front of us, so we turned slightly to look at the slope of the drop before proceeding. We do not know what the orange triangle is for. We assume it is a boundary marker to be seen from the air. The white building had no markings to indicate its purpose. We came to a paved road, but it was a dead end that led up to a blockhouse. Our trail continued on the other side of the road. This area had the trail going down in 2 locations. We picked the one we believed had less of a slope. When we reached the top of the plateau, we saw 3 options for going down. We checked them out and made a decision before heading down. We have rounded the end of the mountain and now need to drive the open terrain back to the starting point. Staying on our trail was tricky because other trails crossed, plus there were additional tracks from ATVs. There were also areas of heavy sand on both sides of the trail. We made sure we stayed on the correct trail away from the mountain. There is an alternate trail that follows the base of the mountain, but we opted to follow the faster route in our trail book. While driving across the sandy desert floor, I noticed wildflowers growing in the sand and stopped to take pictures. There are more ATV tracks in this area on the sides of the hills. We have now reached the sand road and are heading away from Superstition Mountain. We hope you enjoyed riding with us. We invite you to check out our other trail videos on our Rolling Through North America Travel With Us YouTube channel. Many thanks to Fun Trek's off-road books that guide us on our trail adventures. A big thank you from Paul and I for watching. We hope you enjoyed the ride. Please visit our YouTube channel, Rolling Through North America Travel With Us. Check back often, give us a big thumbs up below, and leave us your comments. And please subscribe.